Hello and welcome back. This week's over, and we are back with another Forex Weekly Outlook. Let's analyze how our next week is going to be. If you have watched my previous weekly outlook, I'm pretty sure you have caught some good moves because the last week was pretty eventful. So let's just dive right in and let's look at what happens the next week and what kind of trades we are looking at for the next week. Let's start with the news. So, first of all, if we look at today, there is nothing. But tomorrow we have yen elections. So we have the Japanese elections of lower house tomorrow. And please pay attention to the elections because its results are going to affect yen heavily. And yen has gained a lot of strength and it's going to keep gaining strength throughout the next week. So that's for yen. So that is tomorrow. So based on the election results and everything, we are going to trade the yen pace. If we look at Monday, there is no news as such, and it's a pretty normal day. So, just a normal trading day. On Tuesday, we have retail sales, which will have a mild effect on the US dollar. So, if the retail sales are expected to be negative, the USD is going to lose some strength. But in this case, it is expected to be less. But if the results comes out to be better, the USD is going to gain some strength, and the news is mild. Even though it is considered as a red news, which is a high impact news, but retail sales is considered to be a mild news. Wednesday, we have the holiday for Japanese yen. So, Japanese yen has a holiday on Wednesday, but for USD, we have the NFP coming up. The NFP was supposed to be yesterday, but due to the US government shutdown and everything, it is expected to be the next week on Wednesday. So pay attention to this news. This is going to have a high impact on the USD. On Thursday, we have GDP for pound. Again, this is a high impact news. So we'll pay attention to pound on Thursday. And it is expected to be less than the previous. So pound is expected to lose strength. USD, we have unemployment claims. Anyways, the NFP is coming on Wednesday, so this news won't affect much. Whatever the direction is, the USD will continue in the same direction. On Friday, we have some important news. Friday, we have the CPI for the Swiss francs, uh, which is a very important news, and it is expected to be same, which is 0.0. But for USD, we have a CPI coming up on Friday, and the expected is less. So USD is expected to lose strength on Friday or throughout the week due to the CPI news. Actually, we did not check what is the expected NFP. So the expected NFP is better than expected. So it's been a up and down week for USD. It will be an up and down week for the USD because the NFP is expected to be a little positive, but the CPI is expected to be negative. So it will be a roller coaster ride for USD. So let's look out for the next week. Let's jump to charts and see what are we expecting. Let's start with Euro USD. Let me just clear all the previous zones. We'll start from the monthly. So monthly, we had a small zone right about here, and we can see that we are looking at a rejection from the previous monthly zone. So the previous monthly zone was at 1.18, and we are looking at a rejection on Euro USD. This week, the, the monthly candle is already bearish, so the momentum for this month is bearish. The weekly has closed below the zone, and it is a inverted hammer. So it is a very bearish momentum candle. And also the previous week candle was completely bearish. So the overall momentum on Euro USD is bearish. Let's look at daily. Whereas the daily has been bearish throughout the week, but the Friday's candle closed bullish. So what I would expect is a bearish momentum, but as this has closed bullish, let's see how the candle opens on Monday and let's see how the momentum is. Based on that day's candle, whatever the momentum is, I will take a bearish trade. If I get a bullish momentum on that day, I won't take a trade. because the overall momentum on EURUSD is bearish. So I'll be going bearish with EURUSD. So I'll wait for what happens with EURUSD on Monday. We have a small zone forming here. So let's see what happens. This is the rejection. This is the previous monthly zone. So my prediction for EURUSD over the next week is bearish. Let's look at GBP USD. GBP USD is the same thing. We have a monthly zone which has been rejected by this month's candle, and the candle has completely turned bearish. So we are in the bearish momentum. So for weekly, the previous week has been completely bearish. Only the last few days were bullish for GBP USD, but the overall week was bearish. The smaller time frame daily, the same thing you can see that GBP USD has been completely bearish. Only the Friday's candle is bullish. Again, the same thing is expected on GBP USD, which is expected on Euro USD, that it will be bearish, and we'll see what happens on Monday. So these are not definitive pairs for trading on Monday, which is Euro USD and GBP USD, because the overall momentum suggested is bearish while the Friday's candle is bullish. So let's see how the candle turns out to be on Monday throughout the London session, and we can trade on the US session based on the daily momentum. So that's for GBP USD. Let's look at pound yen. Now, tomorrow is yen election, and pound is expected to be weaker while the yen is expected to be stronger, which is what was seen based on the monthly. This is the previous monthly zone, and we are rejecting the previous monthly zone. But the overall candle is bullish, but we have been rejecting this zone constantly. Whereas weekly is the same thing. We have been rejecting this zone on weekly too. Daily, the Thursday's candle was completely bearish, while the Friday's candle was completely bullish. We can say that this was covering up of all the bearish positions which were opened on Thursday, and they were closed at the end of the week because we are expecting an election on Sunday and we are expecting results. So anything can happen. So that is why this is the entire cover up of the positions. But overall, pound is weaker and yen is stronger. So the momentum of pound yen is expected to be downwards, and we are expecting a bearish momentum on yen. So let's look at the next pair, which is gold. Now, I predicted in the previous Forex weekly outlook that this entire week, which has happened, is going to be bearish for gold as well as silver. I expected a 50% recovery on silver, which has already been achieved. Let's look at silver the next time. But gold, again, we were expecting a bearish momentum, but let's see what's happening right now on the chart. So if we look at monthly, the current monthly candle which is forming is bullish, and there is no previous chart because these are the prices which the gold has never seen. So monthly is expected to be bullish. Monthly is already bullish, and we are looking at a bullish candle. Weekly is also bullish. The previous weekly candle was bullish, and if we break above this high, so this is the price of gold, which is 5087. So if we again break above this price, we can expect a complete momentum till here, which is at 5600. So we can expect this entire momentum, which is of 5000 pips. Yes, it is about five. It is 5000 pips. So we are expecting this entire move to happen if we break above this price again the next week. So that is what is gold. So gold is currently going bullish, and it has rejected the previous. So we had a small daily zone on gold right about here, and we have rejected that zone. So that is what daily is doing. And again, if the new daily zone, if we mark the new daily zone, we can see kind of a double top formation here. So I will expect gold to be bullish the next week. And let's see if we go above this price, which is 5090, we can expect the entire week fill on weekly, which is the momentum of about 5000 pips. So that is my verdict for gold for the next week. Silver has been an eventful pair the entire last week. So we analyzed silver the previous week also, and we expected a, let's go to weekly chart. So I had said that I am expecting a 50% correction on silver. So if we measure the correction on silver, the entire recovery of silver was around 47%. So we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. So now let's analyze silver. Currently, the monthly candle of silver is bearish. Obviously, the entire recovery happened throughout the previous week. If we look at weekly, the same thing. The week previous to this one was bearish. The previous week was bearish. Let's see the next week. But there was a weekly zone right about here, which is at about 72. And we have achieved our 50% recovery. So it's time for silver to retrace now again. So it will cover the bullish momentum again. And it has rejected the previous weekly zone as well as the previous daily zone. So this was the previous daily zone and it has rejected the previous daily zone. So for the next week, silver and gold will be completely bullish based on the charts. But whereas other pairs like Euro USD, GBP USD, it completely depends on the Monday's candle, how the Monday's candle forms. But the overall verdict based on the higher time frames is bearish for these pairs. While on pound yen, the momentum is completely bearish, but it depends on tomorrow's election. So let's see. So it is all based on the news and the chart structure forming. But overall verdict for normal pairs which we trade, which is EU, GU, and GJ, we are bearish, whereas gold and silver, we are completely bullish. So this was this week's Forex Outlook. I'll see you next week and I'll catch you live in the upcoming week and let's trade together. Thank you.